In today's English listening lesson, I will read a story to help improve your English listening skills and then discuss the meaning of a few English vocabulary words you need to know from today's story. Well, hello students. I hope you're having a fantastic day and welcome to another episode of Parlay with Jay. This is an A-2 English listening practice video. Simply put, this will be great for beginning English learners. Use this video to practice your listening skills, and if you want to study my longer English lessons, use the links in the description. Today I have a story I titled The Pesky Woodpecker. Imagine, if you can, a quiet little town by the sea. The houses are pretty and the people are friendly. Usually, it is a peaceful place. You can hear the waves from the ocean and the birds singing. But lately, there is a new sound in Rockport. Tap, tap, tap. This sound is coming from a woodpecker. Now, let me pause and say, if you have been watching and listening to my English lessons, you know that I am an avid bird watcher. I enjoy feeding the birds that come to my home on a daily basis. And I actually have two woodpeckers that make their presence known pretty often. At least they do during the winter. So I hope you really enjoy this silly little story that I put together, okay? Let's continue with today's story. Woodpeckers are birds that like to make holes in trees. They use their strong beaks to find food like small bugs. But this woodpecker in Rockport is not tapping on trees. This woodpecker likes to tap on cars. Not just any part of the car, but the side mirrors. These are the shiny glass parts on the side of your car that you use to see. And let me pause and say, side mirrors on cars are very helpful, but you can't depend on them 100% because when you're driving a vehicle and you're trying to avoid hitting a car beside you, there is what is called a blind spot. So those side mirrors are very useful. We don't trust them 100%. Let's get back to the story. This woodpecker is tapping very hard on these mirrors. It is breaking them. People in Rockport are very surprised and a little bit angry. Their car mirrors are getting broken by a bird. At first, they didn't know why this was happening. Maybe someone was hitting the mirrors, or maybe it was an accident. But then people saw the woodpecker. It was a medium-sized bird, black and white with a red head. It would try to fly, but it would land on the car and start tapping on the mirror very quickly and strongly. Sometimes it would tap for a long time. Then the mirror would have cracks or even a break. People who knew about birds called a bird expert. Think they know why the woodpecker is doing this, they thought? They think the bird sees its own picture in the shiny mirror. The bird thinks maybe it's another bird. Or maybe it thinks this bird is in its special place. So it tries to fight the other bird by tapping on it very hard with its beak. The shiny glass makes the picture look very real to the woodpecker. This is a problem for the people in Rockport. New car mirrors cost money. It is not easy to drive without a side mirror. And the tapping sound can be loud and annoying, especially early in the morning. So the people started trying to stop the woodpecker. Some people put plastic bags or cloths over their car mirrors. This stops the woodpecker from seeing its picture. But it's not very easy to drive with bags on your mirrors. Some people tried to put shiny things near their cars to scare the bird away. Some people made loud noises, but the woodpecker did not stop. It really liked those car mirrors. The people asked for help from the experts who knew about the birds. They said that woodpeckers are special birds and you cannot hurt them. Now, let me pause and say, we usually call these extinct animals or extinct birds. They have some type of protection. Well, actually, an extinct bird or animal is an animal or bird that would no longer exist if they were all killed off. So we usually say these type birds have some type of protection from the government. So when we get back to the story, we learned that the people had to find other ways to stop the woodpecker. The experts hope that maybe the bird will get tired of tapping the mirrors, or maybe it would find a new place to go. For now, the people in Rockport have a funny and strange problem. A woodpecker that likes to break car mirrors. It shows us that animals can do surprising things even in our own towns and cities. The story of the woodpecker and the car mirrors is a little adventure in the everyday life of those that live in Rockport, Massachusetts. Well, I hope you have enjoyed that. Could you imagine being plagued by woodpeckers? I have heard of a plague of frogs, fleas. I have heard of a plague of other different insects like locusts, but I have never heard of being swarmed and harassed by woodpeckers. What an amazing story. So let's talk about a few vocabulary words from today's lesson. The first one is an adjective, which is a descriptive word. And I actually have a few adjectives. Peaceful, meaning quiet and calm. So you might say the park is a very peaceful place to relax. Or if you worked a very long time, or 8, 10, or 12 hours, and you came home and went to sleep and woke up in the morning, you might say, we had a peaceful night's sleep. Another adjective from today's lesson is shiny. Something that is bright and reflecting light. So you might say the new car was very shiny. Or I found a penny on the ground and it still was very shiny. Or we cleaned the floor and the table until it was glossy and shiny. Now, here's a verb. Break, to damage something so it ends up in small pieces. or pieces in general. So you might say, be careful not to break the glass, or the toy will break if you are not gentle. Okay. Let's do one more, and I'll include additional words in the lesson, which you can get on the Patreon. The link is down in the description. Be sure to join that. Expert, a noun, someone who knows a lot about something. So if your computer broke, you may say, I need a computer expert. Or when you consider today's story, the bird experts told us we could not harm the woodpecker. So that's going to do it for the vocabulary words that I want to teach you and today's story. I hope you have enjoyed our time together. As always, if you have enjoyed today's lesson, be sure to share it with a friend. And I hope you join me on my next English lesson.